Welcome to the Irresistible You podcast. All right, guys, I'm not doing an intro today. I'm not doing any of that because this is like the 20th time I have hit record and been disappointed with how my words were coming out. I know exactly how I want to say this. I know in my mind how to answer this question, but for some reason, the words coming out of my mouth are not articulating those thoughts and those feelings. So I think I was trying to I was trying to censor myself a little too much, and I was trying to not offend anyone. And the truth of the matter is, I'm going to take the censorship off. And if this offends anyone, it does. And if it does, I apologize in advance. But the women that need to hear this message will hear it. And for those of you that this message maybe isn't for, you can just hit next and go to the next episode. Because this is a loaded question, and it's not something that I can just answer with an easy yes or no. There is no black and white answer. It's very complicated. It's very individualized, and I'm trying my best to answer this in a blanketed way. But depending upon your situation, it may look differently. I don't know. And the question that I get all the time in my private Facebook group, in the DMs, in emails is this. My husband tells me all the time how hot and sexy I am and how much he loves my body, but I don't believe him. It's hard for me to take him seriously because I don't believe that my body can be hot and sexy because of my size and my weight. Do I need to lose weight in order to feel confident and believe him? Okay, I told you it's a loaded question. Now, the easy answer, do I need to lose weight to feel confident and believe him? Do I need to lose weight to feel confident? The easy answer is that no, you don't need to lose weight to feel confident and love yourself and feel hot and sexy. You shouldn't have to lose weight just to have that feeling. I firmly believe that we can look and feel irresistible at any size that we are in our journey, right? But the easy answer to this is no. You just need to love yourself and respect yourself, and you do that by working on the emotional weight that you're carrying. Because if you can't believe a compliment from your spouse, most of all, if you can't believe that compliment because you don't actually believe that about yourself, you have a ton of emotional weight that you're going to have to shed in order for you to get to a place where you love yourself, respect yourself, and you can actually feel hot and sexy, not just because someone told you that. Because all the compliments in the world are not going to make you believe that you're that thing. You only believe it when you feel it, right? And we also shouldn't rely on external validation for those compliments, right? Like, they're nice, we love getting them, but we shouldn't rely on them. So the easy answer to your question, do I have to lose weight to feel confident, is no. You need to love yourself and respect yourself, and you're going to do that by working on shedding the emotional weight. And if you get a compliment and you believe it wholeheartedly, like a positive compliment, you're in a really good place. And it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter what weight you are. We can love and respect ourselves and think we're fabulous at any size, right? But it would be really irresponsible of me to answer that question the way that I just did and then walk away and tell you to go have a good day. Right? Because, like I said, this is a loaded question, and that is not painting the entire picture that I need to see. Right? So if I just told you to love yourself, go respect yourself, go lose your emotional weight, and if you need help on that, I can help you, and I send you on your merry way, I'm not painting the entire picture, and I'm not being That's not being realistic, right? And so I feel I have a responsibility to share the truth. I have a responsibility to shed light on a topic that a lot of people don't always want to answer the way I'm going to answer this. I feel like I have a duty to make sure that I put this on the table, because a lot of other body image and confidence coaches, they feel the exact opposite way that I feel. And so here's the deal. If you're sitting here right now and you're listening to this podcast and you are in a body that is actually uncomfortably overweight, fat, obese, plus size, and you're miserable in your own skin, that's the key word. Because not everyone who's overweight feels miserable and uncomfortable in their own skin. But if you are feeling fat and miserable in your own skin, the answer that I gave you at the beginning, it's not good enough. Because that answer is overly simplistic, and quite frankly, it's insulting if you are the woman who feels fat and miserable in her own skin, right? And actually needs to lose weight, actually has weight to lose, is what I'm trying to say. Because you might be listening to this and you're at an ideal body weight. People look at you and they would never call you fat. They would never think you're obese. But you can still feel uncomfortable in your skin. You can still have barely any confidence. You can still not believe that you're hot and sexy, right? And that's the emotional weight that you have to work on. Because we can have the emotional weight no matter what size we are. And so what I want to address now is I'm talking to the girls who are actually fat. I'm talking to the girls who are struggling with their weight. I'm talking to the girls who have to lose 50 plus pounds. And I want to give you another answer. Because to ask the question, do I need to lose weight to feel confident? The complicated, messy, super in the gray area real answer to that question, if you're that girl, yeah, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do have to lose the weight. And I know that you're probably asking yourself, like, you know, how the hell am I supposed to love and respect myself if I can barely stand to touch my naked body, right? That's why sometimes the self-love and the self-respect and working on the emotional weight, when we're actually overweight, it's not enough. And I need you to ride out with me. I need you to hear what I'm saying, because I know this might sound crazy at first. I know this might not be what you're used to hearing, but I want to speak the truth, and I want to speak realness, and I want to give you information that's going to take you to another level, and I'm not going to coddle and tell you everything's going to be okay right now. Because sometimes we have to get the weight off, in addition to the emotional weight. It's not one or the other when we're overweight. It's both. And the complicated answer to, do I need to lose weight to feel confident, is yeah, sometimes you do, okay? Now let's unpack all of this. Because the very first thing we have to do is we need to break and crush the misconception that confidence is waiting for us like this magical pot of gold at the end of the weight loss rainbow. It's not. It doesn't show up just because you got to your goal weight, just because you got the weight off. It's not like you go on a diet and you lose all of your weight and all of a sudden you're like, ooh, I'm confident now. It doesn't work that way. It's not that easy. It doesn't just show up. And so losing weight just to lose weight because you think at the other end of the rainbow there's all of this happiness and the perfect body and abundance and wealth and all of these things that you have attached to the idea of goal weight, that's not going to work for you. Okay? So I want to give you an example of in my own life. So before my wedding, leading up to my wedding, I lost 60 plus pounds. I was very close to goal. I wasn't there yet, but I was pretty close. And I was getting compliments. And people were saying, "Oh my God, girl, you're losing weight. What diet are you on? What are you doing? How are you doing it? You look amazing." And I would always say to them, "Thanks, but I still have a ways to go. Thanks, but I still have 30 pounds to lose," or whatever the answer of the day was. And in my mind, I would think to myself, how the hell can these people think I'm hot and sexy when I'm still fat, when I'm still, a ways away from my goal weight? How can they actually think this? That's what used to go through my mind. And so just like the answer at the question we're addressing, I didn't believe the compliments because I wasn't working on that part of me at the time. I was just trying to get the weight off for the event, for my wedding, right? And because I did it that way, lost the weight for the sake of losing the weight. Days after my wedding, when life decided to hit me in the gut, I went right back into the food. And I binged my way all the way back up the scale, right? Because the thing is, when you're losing weight for the sake of losing weight, and you're getting the compliments, and you're fitting in the small clothes, and you're looking better, and you're starting to feel better, all of that is amazing, and it feels really good, and we would be crazy to admit otherwise because it does feel good. The new car smell of all of that weight loss, it's going to wear off. And then you're going to get to your goal, and everyone's going to get used to you being who you are, and you're going to get used to this new body, maybe. And the new car smell goes away, and now you're still the same girl, you're still the same fat girl in a skinny body. Because if you didn't work on the emotional weight and lose the fat girl mindset, you're still the same person in a smaller size. And that's why so many people get to their goal weight and they find something else to focus on and obsess about. Oh, look at the loose skin. Oh, look at the wrinkles. Oh, I need Botox. Oh, I need this surgery and that surgery and a tummy tuck and a boob job, right? And it's because it's distracting you away from dealing with the shit that you don't want to actually deal with, that got you overweight in the first place, right? So losing weight for the sake of losing weight, thinking that confidence is waiting at the end of the weight loss rainbow, that is really dangerous. And that type of thinking is what has kept you on the yo-yo diet, body hate, shame cycle. And if you continue to think that way, it's going to continue to keep you on that cycle, right? Because it's not in the actual weight loss where you find confidence. It's not in the pounds going away and melting away where you find confidence. I mean, sure, when you're getting a smaller size, that is a confidence boost. Let's not deny that, right? But it's not in the actual weight loss where you're going to find the confidence. You're going to find it in the journey. And sometimes going through this journey to lose weight is where you find yourself, your true self. It's where you fall in love with yourself. And it's where you start to gain the confidence that you lost or the confidence that you never had in your life. So to answer the question, do I need to lose weight to feel confident? Again, yes, you might have to. Because if you're sitting in your body and you're miserable and your quality of life is suffering and you can't bend over and you can't tie your shoes and you feel gross in every single outfit that you put on, there's not enough self-love in the world that's going to make you feel different. And so for me to just give you that answer of like, yeah, girl, go love yourself, go feel irresistible, you'll be all right. For me to do that is so irresponsible. Because there's another layer to this, right? No pun intended. And so when you're in that situation, sometimes, yeah, it's getting the weight off is going to help you to feel better about yourself. But this is where like the caveat and like everything comes in, because you can't do it just for the sake of losing the weight, hoping and praying that you're going to get to that magic pot of gold at the end. That's not how this works. the way that it works is that you go on this journey because, so here's the deal. You may not have any self-love, self-respect, self-confidence right now. And chances are, if you're sitting here overweight, fat, and miserable, hating their body, you don't have any of that. And that's okay, right? Because if you sit and wait for all of that to come, you might be sitting there a really long time. Because what happens so often is when we make the decision to go on the weight loss journey, and we do it from a place of not hating ourselves, but we do it from a place of self-love, but you're like, wait a second, I don't have any self-love right now. That's okay. All you need is a teeny tiny little ounce of enough self-love and self-belief that you're willing to do this, you're willing to do the hard work, you're willing to go on the journey, not just to lose the weight, but to also lose the emotional weight to become the woman that you're meant to be. Even if you have this little tiny vial of that with you, that's all you need to get started. You may not have the answers right now, you don't know what to do, you don't know what tomorrow looks like or the next steps, and that's fine. But it's having the curiosity and the tiny, tiny, tiny belief in yourself that you can do this and that you're ready to actually address all of it. Not just putting your head down, going on the yo-yo diet, going into hibernation mode, not wanting to see anybody till you get the weight off, and then feeling miserable the entire time and still not addressing the emotional weight and the inner fat girl stuff. Right? As long as you have that little tiny vial of, I want to go on this journey, I want to get the weight off, but I also want to uncover why. I want to uncover why I got here. I want to uncover, like, who I'm actually supposed to be, right? So you just need to have that little bit to get you started, because it's going on that journey where you start out just wanting to lose weight, but what ends up happening is you find so much more. You find who you really are. You fall in love with yourself. You find your confidence. Because confidence doesn't come just because you're in a size 8 jeans, right? Confidence comes from a couple different things that I'm going to talk about right now that you experience on the journey. And number one, we already talked about believing in yourself, right? So having that belief in yourself, that's all you need. Because if you're already doubting yourself, if you're already calling yourself names, if you're already believing that you're going to fail again, you probably will, right? But if you stay open-minded, if you tell yourself, I don't have the answers, I don't know how I'm going to do this, all I know is I'm miserable and something has to change, and I can't just go on another diet for the sake of dieting. And you're open-minded to what that's going to look like, and you're open to the fact that it's not going to be easy, that you have to get really close to the woman that you've been avoiding for a very long time, the issues that you've been avoiding, all of that stuff you've been pushing down with food and focusing on your weight. The second piece of how you're building confidence by going on the journey is making those commitments. Committing to yourself that you're going to do this, and committing to yourself that you're doing it without all the answers, and committing to yourself that you're going to do it, but you're not doing it perfectly, because commitment doesn't mean perfect, right? And commitment doesn't mean that you're going to start over on Monday, never have another cheat meal, never have another binge, and never miss another workout, because you will. It's part of the process, right? Commitment is getting back on, dusting yourself off at the next meal. Commitment is, you've slashed one tire, but you're not going to slash the other 3. That is commitment, because you will make mistakes. You will go backwards. You will shit talk yourself. You will battle the inner fat girl talk all the time. But as long as you're committed, even when it's hard, you're not just committed when it's easy. That's not commitment, right? So you have to have that commitment to yourself. And the thing about it is, when you make these small commitments to you and you keep them, you know what that does? It builds trust with yourself. And that trust is what builds confidence. You're like, oh shit, I can do this. Tomorrow night, I'm going to meet my friends for a dance class. And you keep those commitments. Commitments are, I'm going to eat blah, 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 and I'm going to stick to it. That's commitment, right? And so the more you break those commitments, you lose trust and faith in yourself, and you have no confidence in yourself. And that's how the whole cycle starts over again, right? So you have to believe in yourself. You have to be committed to yourself. And other ways you go on this weight loss journey, it's not about dieting. It's not about losing weight for the sake of losing weight, right? You start getting active. You start setting activity goals for yourself. And you tell yourself, you know, tomorrow I'm going to walk 2 miles, and you keep that commitment. And you know what? When you're done, you feel proud. You feel inspired. You feel motivated. And the more things you do like that, your confidence blossoms, and it grows and it grows and it builds. And that's how you start to lose the weight physically while also working on the emotional weight, because you're building this confidence and these beliefs and these commitments with yourself, right? And you're working through all the bullshit that goes on in your mind when you want to go binge, when you want to cancel dance class with your friends. You have to work through all of that stuff. I didn't say any of this is easy. It's not. It's the hardest thing you're ever going to do. And yeah, losing weight will build your confidence. But do you see the difference? What I'm trying to tell you is, if you're just doing it to get the weight off and then you're going to work on the other stuff, you're doing it wrong. It goes hand in hand. And when you're working on yourself and you're keeping these commitments and you're seeing your size go down, we're not worried about the number on the scale. We're worried about how we look and feel in our clothes, right? And when you're going down in size and you're looking better, you're feeling better, it's like a domino effect. And when life punches you in the gut, not if, when, you now have this toolkit, this toolbox of coping skills to not go back into the food, to not gain back all the weight just because life decided to get hard. Because you've worked on losing the physical and the emotional weight. And yeah, that builds up confidence when you see the scale going down and you see your size going down and you feel better and you can walk into a store and grab something off the rack and leave. And not even have to worry, are they going to have my size? Do I have to go to the back corner where it's super embarrassing? You know, they shove all the plus size in the corner. All of that stuff builds your confidence. You know, and as you're going through the journey, taking care of yourself, taking pride in your appearance. I call it getting your glam on, right? Like dressing for the body you have now. Regardless of where you are in the scale, we need to dress in cute clothes that make us look and feel good now. It's just like the magic pot of gold. We don't wait until the end of the rainbow to go shopping. We don't wait until the end of the rainbow to get our hair done. We don't wait until the end of the rainbow to take care of ourselves. Because weight loss might take you a really long time. And you have to deal with you the entire time you're on that journey. And if you're anything like me, this journey doesn't end. It's for the rest of my life. I will never be the woman who can get to her goal weight and throw everything out the window. I have to work at this every day for the rest of my life. Right? Because it doesn't just go away because you get to goal weight. And it doesn't even just go away because you did the work on the emotional weight. You're still going to have those times. So, you know, you really have to want this, and you have to be committed, and you have to be dedicated, and you have to know that it's not easy. And I know this is a super long answer to that question, Do you need to lose weight in order to feel confident in your body and believe all the compliments you're getting? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know your situation, right? But I do know if your situation is such that you are overweight, you feel sick and miserable in your skin, you don't like the way you look, then I'm going to tell you, yeah, you probably do. You probably do. But the key is you have to do it from a healthy place of wanting to transform your life and not just wanting to lose weight for the sake of losing weight, because that will not sustain you. That will not last. That pot of gold, it's going to disappear. And we need to think about things that we can do for the rest of our life to actually transform who we are. Because the weight, using the weight as an excuse to why you don't feel good, and it's a valid excuse, right? But it's a way for you to have something else to worry about, to obsess about, versus dealing with the other shit that's really going on inside. And you have to ask yourself, like, who will I be without the weight? Who am I without being on a diet? Who am I if I'm not overweight and I can't use this as a crutch to be intimate with my husband, to be naked, to put on a bathing suit, to show up to events? Are you using the weight as a way to shield yourself from these things that you don't want to do because you're not comfortable doing them, because you don't have the confidence, right? And so, yeah, the complicated answer is that maybe. Maybe you do have to lose weight. Maybe it is time for you to get the weight off. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm sick and tired of these coaches out here teeing it up in a way that makes it bad to want to lose weight. Losing weight could save your life, mentally and physically. Right? Like, I want you to live a life that you crave, the life you deserve. That's what living an irresistible you, an irresistible life is all about. And you can't do that when you're miserable, not wanting to see the world, hiding out on your couch, binge watching TV for weeks at a time. It doesn't work that way. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. I know this was long-winded. I hope I was able to shed some clarity around the question and around the topic, because there's so many layers to this, you know, and I don't want you thinking gaining confidence and self-love is just this thing that you can go do overnight. It doesn't work like that, right? And the thing about confidence, real quick too, you have to do things before you're ready to do them. You can't wait to feel confident. The only way you ever will feel confident is in the doing, is in the journey, right? And so going through the journey is where you find that confidence. It's where you build it. It's where you create it. It doesn't come because you got to the finish line. Because honestly, there is no finish line. There is no finish line. Because even when you get to your goal weight, what do you think is going to happen then? What is going to happen once you get to your goal? You're going to just go back to binge eating, eating like crap, sitting on the couch, disrespecting your body with junk food? No. Now you have to live the rest of your life to maintain where you are, to take care of yourself. And so when you're losing weight just for losing weight, none of that gets addressed. None of that is talked about, because it's just about going on a restrictive diet in a restricted period of time to get off a specific number of pounds. And if you can throw all of that out the window and not give yourself a deadline, and you tell yourself it takes as long as it takes, because I am going to develop lifelong habits and changes and a lifestyle that I can sustain. Not just to fit into a wedding dress, not just to go impress a bunch of people from high school that didn't give a shit about you in the first place, right? To sustain a healthy lifestyle where you are living, like I said, you're living the life you crave and the life you deserve. And who cares what weight you're at? That part doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel about yourself. So I hope that this really helps to answer that question. I hope it makes sense because, like I said, I have tried to record this so many times and nothing was coming out the way that I wanted it to, right? So just to wrap, should you lose weight in order to feel confident? The answer is maybe. For you, that really depends. What is the answer for you, right? Yeah, so I hope this is helpful. Let me know. Send me a comment. Leave a rating and review if it is. I am going to catch you in the next episode. And until then, stay irresistible.